understand the principles of life, and comprehend the realm of time. Welcome to all our listeners and enthusiasts of numbers phenomena. Let us learn about numbers together and gain insight into the essence behind life. So today I will continue to explain knowledge about numbers phenomena to everyone. In this series, I plan to use my first book, Numbers Phenomena Human. As you can see, this book is quite thick and contains a wealth of foundational theories about numbers phenomena, allowing us to gain insights into the information of our lives through the study of numbers. In our previous lesson, we discussed how every pair of digits contains profound meanings about life. What we learn through numbers is not some abstract knowledge floating in the air, but information that pertains to the very essence of each of our lives. So before we begin interpreting this book, a couple of days ago I noticed some of your questions, and I have chosen one of them to explain and discuss with everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Whenever I see them, I will do my best to explain them to you in detail. At the same time, since this book has a total of 541 pages as I explain it, I will also incorporate questions from both you and myself. We'll naturally intersperse our discussions, which I think will make the experience more comfortable for everyone. Because many of you may not even be familiar with the basic theories behind numbers phenomena, by asking your own questions and receiving my answers, it actually becomes a very effective way to grow as you learn about numbers phenomena. Just like in my formal classes and in-person sessions, I answer questions face-to-face, and every student gains a lot from this approach. Because when you ask questions, you are actually already reflecting on the information in your own life. That's why I strongly encourage everyone to ask more questions in my formal and in-person classes. The more questions you ask, the richer and more personalized the answers you'll receive. Alright, so today I have selected a question that was asked by one of our audience members. Teacher, what kind of numbers are used in the study of numbers phenomena? If we are analyzing a set of numbers, what kind of numbers are being analyzed? This is a great question for beginners who are curious about numbers phenomena to learn from. First of all, we need to understand that there are many numbers combination around us. Every day we are surrounded by all kinds of numbers. When we study these numbers combination, what we need to look at is the type of information we hope to obtain, learn about, or explore. Why do I say this? Because the functions of the information presented by different categories of number sets, or rather the nature of the information presented by numbers carried on different mediums, are not the same. Don't worry everyone, I will give you examples one by one so that we can gain a detailed understanding. For example, take license plate numbers. In this book I have written in great detail about the role that license plate numbers play in our lives. So, as for license plate numbers, what they reveal is actually closely related to the driver's personality, temperament, driving mindset, driving habits, sense of direction, driving skills, the routes they take, and even what kind of car or electric vehicle, since we know it's the era of electric cars now, the license plate will be used on, and in what scenarios it will be applied. All of these aspects are completely aligned. What does this mean? Let me give you an example. From a car owner's license plate number, we can observe what kind of driving habits this person has, including what kind of roads they prefer to drive on. For instance, some people like to take small roads while others prefer to drive on main avenues. There are also some people who are more accustomed to driving at night, perhaps because of their work, their lifestyle habits, or their personal preferences. Of course, these are all comprehensive factors. We need to understand that every number that appears in our lives carries comprehensive information. At the same time, we can also observe the driver's personality and temperament. In what situations is he more likely to lose his temper while driving, and what are the reasons for his anger? What kind of consequences might result after losing his temper? Could disputes arise? Could it lead to minor collisions? Is he more likely to break traffic rules? We know that some people, when they get impatient, might end up running a red light or driving without regard for traffic rules. There are all sorts of possibilities. So, every driver has different driving habits, including differences in their temperament and disposition. In addition, some people like to listen to music or the radio while driving, putting themselves in a rather noisy and chaotic environment. We know that situations like this can also easily affect a driver's concentration. There are also some people whose cars tend to be crowded, with family members all sitting inside. These are all different driving scenarios and habits that vary from person to person. So every car reflects a comprehensive set of information about its owner. This is also discussed in the book, specifically about the significance of license plate numbers and their numbers combinations in one's life. So, when the teacher covers this chapter, we will explain it in more detail. Here, we will just give you a brief and concise explanation, because the question we just asked was about what kind of numbers are used in the study of number combinations. So the purpose of the teacher's explanation is to let everyone know that the functions of the information presented by different number combinations are completely different, and the information that can be explored is also different. Let's use another example. For instance, a company's registration number. By analyzing the relevant number combinations in a company's registration number, we can reflect the founder's mindset, vision, and purpose, including their personality traits, abilities, as well as the company's scope of application, target audience, strengths and weaknesses, risk management strategies, core values, target market, future development direction, and all other information related to the company. All of this is revealed in the company's registration number. If we go a step further, what are some other common number combinations we often see? For example, house numbers. The information presented by a residential house number and a business address number is different, and the aspects we can study are also not the same. Let's start with residential house numbers. The information they reveal is actually very rich, extremely rich in fact, including details about the residents, and remember, it's about the residents. For example, when it comes to a household's address, the people living there aren't necessarily all family members. They could be partners, loved ones, tenants, or even tenants sharing the same roof. Or it could be people from the same organization or company all living under the same household address. So, as I've made very clear in my book, what does a house number represent? It reflects the information of the residents, the people living there. So what does that include? It includes the residents' emotions, how you feel inside, whether your emotions fluctuate a lot, and why those emotional fluctuations occur. It also covers your mindset, behavior, sleep quality, daily routines, as well as things like your dietary preferences and so on. In short, it encompasses all aspects of information related to the residents. So, as we just mentioned, whether it's a license plate number, a house number, or a business registration number, they all have something in common. They all represent group information. The teacher will also explain this to everyone in detail later on. What is group information? Group information is the information that is collectively presented by one person, a group of people, or an organization. In other words, for example, a family's house number reflects the common characteristics of that group. We know that, for example, a whole family might have the habit of eating chili peppers, like having chili peppers every morning, or they might have the habit of eating pickled vegetables. So we need to understand that if you eat heavily flavored foods, those with a lot of salt or oil for many years, the negative effects on your digestive system will be much greater than for families who eat lighter, more bland foods. Therefore, we say that if a house number shows negative effects and impacts on the digestive system, it indicates that the entire group living under that house number tends to have such behaviors, dietary habits, and preferences, including certain mindsets and emotions. So in these years of researching group information, I have also discovered many interesting cases. For example, in one family spanning 3 generations, the father, mother, grandparents, and even the children all have the habit of staying up late. Every member of the family, young and old, is used to staying up late. As for the mother and father, the mother might stay up late watching dramas, while the father might stay up late following the stock market. Then, the grandparents in the family also stay up late, perhaps looking at their phones or listening to stories. Many elderly people really enjoy listening to stories or comic dialogues on Himalaya, and they have the habit of listening to audiobooks. As for the 3rd generation, the children, they might have the habit of staying up late playing on their phones or gaming. So all 3 generations in the family have this habit of staying up late, and it is reflected in their house unit number. Therefore, their house unit number clearly shows signs of staying up late. This is a common trait among the group. Of course, there are also many very interesting cases, some of which are even quite shocking and surprising to us. When explaining house unit number, I will also go into detail with everyone. So we need to understand that things like house unit number, license plates, company registration numbers, and even numbers shared by organizations all belong to group numbers, and what they present is group information. So what kind of numbers combination present information that is entirely related to us personally? What is the mirror of each person's own life? That would be our mobile phone numbers and the passwords we use daily. Especially mobile phone numbers, they are unique in this world and perfectly correspond to the information of the individual. We need to understand that every person in this world is a completely unique individual. Each of our ways of thinking, our mindsets, emotions, every decision and choice we make in life, every situation we encounter, these are all one of a kind, irreplaceable, and represent very unique information about our lives. So our mobile phone number is information that perfectly corresponds to our own unique individuality. So regarding the question our audience asked, what kind of numbers are used to study numbers phenomena? So I will answer your question in detail as well. The functions of information formed by different numbers on different carriers are not the same. However, in our usual consultation process, we mostly use mobile phone numbers because they pertain to individual information. Unless the consultation involves enterprises, business matters, or concerns about families, only then do we focus more on exploring group information. From the teacher's explanation just now, we all understand that the numbers combination in our daily lives that we can study are actually quite diverse. But the most crucial thing still concerns the numbers combination related to ourselves, such as our mobile phone numbers and the passwords we use in our daily lives. In the next session, the teacher will begin to explain the content of this book to everyone. In the earlier chapters of this book, there is a discussion about what numbers phenomena are. In the chapter on what is numbers phenomena, it explains in detail the meaning of numbers phenomena in relation to life, how numbers phenomena are transmitted and inherited, and how this information can be further passed down within families. It also covers the rules of numbers phenomena, how to understand oneself through these phenomena, as well as some profound real-life case studies. Looking further ahead, we can see the chapter on how numbers phenomena play a role in various fields. This section provides a detailed explanation of how numbers phenomena are applied in talent management, healthcare, partner selection and marriage, as well as investment decision-making. In the investment decision-making chapter, we also thoroughly analyze the cases of several well-known individuals using familiar events to comprehensively explain the role that numbers phenomena played in these situations. At the same time, it also discusses the high-value roles that numbers phenomena may play in the future of artificial intelligence. In order to share more effectively with everyone, this series will not be presented in a book reading format. Instead, teacher will explain the core content of each chapter in a way that provides you with practical and meaningful insights. Alright, I believe everyone has gained a lot today. Through today's sharing, I also hope that everyone has gained a deeper understanding of numbers phenomena. There's no need to rush. I'll continue recording so that everyone can develop a more lasting and profound understanding of the role numbers phenomena play in our lives. I also hope that as each of us walks our own path in life, when faced with various hardships or obstacles, numbers phenomena can become an opportunity for you to make a choice in your life. Thank you all for listening. I am Teacher Dai Shinai. Let us gain insight into the essence of life through numbers phenomena.
Understand the principles of life and comprehend the realm of time. Welcome to all students and enthusiasts of numbers phenomena tuning in. This program is presented by Daixin Ai, the developer of numbers phenomena. By analyzing the core content from teacher Daixin Ai's books on observing humanity through numbers phenomena, she leads us to deeply explore the essence of life behind the numbers. That's all for this section. In the next session, we will continue to follow teacher Daixin Ai and together uncover the deeper information behind our life processes through numbers phenomena. Please remember, whether you wish to understand yourself more deeply or are searching for answers and direction in life, numbers phenomena can provide you with a clearer, more essential path of understanding and practical, feasible solutions.